This episode, Randomness, is the fourth video in our series that goes along with James R. Parker's book, Generative Art, Algorithms as Artistic Tool.
In Chapter 3, we're going to talk about randomness again. In the introduction to the book, we talked about randomness generally in art. And what we're going to talk about in Chapter 3 is how to control randomness in your algorithms to make renderings look more interesting. We know that humans can't draw the same line the same way twice, but computers always draw the same line exactly the same way every time. This causes some difficulties because computers can draw perfectly, humans cannot, and so we can always tell the difference. And because art is a fundamentally human way of communicating, people often feel that an artwork, if it's too accurate, if it's too precise, is not really art anymore. It's a diagram. So if you want to make art more interesting, we have to make it look as if humans did it, which means introducing randomness to it. So we introduce small variations in the way lines are drawn to make them not perfectly straight.
Let's examine the programming code that breaks up a computer-drawn line to make it look like it was drawn by a human. To add a random variation to a straight line, we change the values of nx and ny from what they should be, perfect that is, to a small variation. How small nx and ny should be is up for grabs, but we can experiment with these values. There will be a change in nx and or ny at random after each line is drawn.
Not only straight lines, though, at the end of the chapter we talk about textures. And textures are a really complicated thing. But think about what clothing looks like. Clothing has this weave to it. It's random, but it's regular. It has color variations. So textures are quite complicated things. If we wish to use textures in our art, and we probably do, we have to have some understanding of those. And so we talk about textures and how they're random and how to use them, how to generate them. At the end of this chapter, and this will help your generative artworks look more reasonable, look more human-like, and still have a quality of completeness to them.
The book, Generative Art, Algorithms as Artistic Tool, is published by Dervile and Uproot Books.